I am Sarah Newell Williamson with the Greensboro News and Record, and we are here with the Quebe sisters. If you all would like to introduce yourself.
I am Sophia Quebe.
I'm Grace Quebe.
And I'm Hulda Quebe.
All right, and I know that you all had said yesterday you have done folk festivals before. Can you tell me a little bit about how this one is different from others that you have done?
Well, it's our first time to play one in Greensboro, that's for sure.
Excellent.
There's always different acts. We've seen some of the same people that we've run across playing previous festivals, but we just heard this mariachi band right after our set at the city stage. Killer. I hate to say this, but I wanted to stay and listen instead of ask questions, but I'm sorry. So that's how much fun we're having here, if that gives you a taste of, we're enjoying, all the other bands. We jammed last night with some Croatian musicians. It was so much fun. So every folk festival has a new experience for us, and some new musician. I saw an instrument I'd never even heard of or seen before, and I learned some chords on it last night. So,
which one was that?
It's called, I probably will mispronounce this, but it's one of the Croatian instruments called a tamburica. Tamburica. I think I'm saying that right. So, yeah.
That doesn't sound right.
Well,
Close.
close enough.
Yeah? Anybody else wanna-
Oh, talking about the festivals. We started out when we started out playing these national folk festivals. The first one we did was in 2004 up in Bangor, Maine, and it was the furthest away we'd ever been from home, way back then. And I just remember it was the largest event that we had ever played. I mean, these festivals bring in, thousands and thousands of people. So I remember playing the main stage and just looking out and being like, we are playing for a lot of people right now. But it was fabulous, and it helped really grow our fan base in a lot of different states. It was awesome.
I really like the different culture aspects of the folk festival, especially the national and all the spin-off festivals. We've played quite a few of the spin-off festivals as well, and they're really fun. The National Folk Festival is so well run. It's really fun to be at as a musician. You meet, like Sophie was saying, you meet a lot of people, and then you see some familiar faces and people you've gotten to know. We did a vocal workshop yesterday that was so much fun, and we saw an Irish guitar player there who we met at the very first folk festival we ever did.
John Doyle.
John Doyle. And so, it's really cool to see people you know as well. And, the cool thing is, too, they do it all over the U.S. So Bangor, Maine, all the way down to Key West, Florida. I was just talking to one of the sound staff and at our last stage, and she was like, "Yeah, I saw y'all last in Key West." So it's been all over. I believe the time before this we were in Butte, Montana, at the festival there. So it's pretty fun to get to travel all over the country.
And so you all three play fiddle. Who got started first?
Well, we actually all started at the same time, which I guess is a bit unusual for a family. But we all just kind of picked it up at the same time, and I think that served us well because we've been able to, one of us hasn't been, way more advanced of a player than the other because we all were doing it together, and I think that helped us, to start playing together too.
Yeah. Is there any friendly competition?
We'll skip her for a second. We always, growing up, we competed in contests, and so it just depended on the contest. Sometimes two of us would be in the same division, or when our birthday would fall at a different time of the year, so sometimes they'd be competing against each other, or all three of us would be in the same division. So sometimes my hardest competition were these two. But no, I think the cool thing about us being family and being able to play together is that it's kept us going. When one person gets a little discouraged or kind of burned out, if you will, the other one's like, "Oh, I'm super inspired, and I'm listening to this new record, and da-da-da-da," and, we kind of keep each other going, which has always been, it's always been great. It's always kept us wanting to play music, and we have a similar taste in music, and we've always agreed on, the vision for the band, and just kind of how we want to do things as a group. So, yeah, we're fortunate that we get to do it together. A lot of people are like, do y'all get along? And I mean, of course we have our arguments, but yes, we do get along.
So now, my sister, I'm very close with her, but I cannot imagine working with her all the time. How is it when you all are touring and sometimes have disagreements?
Oh, we get over them pretty quick. We've been doing this for a while, so, the one thing we do have is we have a lot of the same musical tastes. So that's really important when you have a band, and we have that with each other. We've all grown up really enjoying the same music and, having the same goals as far as what we want to accomplish with our music.
Y'all are lucky.
Thanks.
So I believe I had read that you all obviously did fiddle first and then gradually added the singing in. Can you explain how that worked?
Yeah, actually, the first folk festival that we played in Bangor, Maine, we just were playing the fiddle there. And then, yeah, we were just instrumental, that's right. And we played in a lot of fiddle contests, and that's, Hola was talking about that growing up, and then started playing, tunes together, and then playing like little gigs and stuff around town and whatnot. And then, it was suggested to us by a few people, like, y'all should try to sing. I remember Ricky Skaggs said, why don't you open your mouth and try to sing?
And it had never occurred to you before that?
Well, I think we were just really into the fiddle, and then one day it kind of like hit me that there aren't really any career-wise successful all fiddle instrumental bands. Like, people might get fiddle overload. And so we did start working at singing, and I love it. We all do. It's really cool.
When we first started out singing, it definitely didn't come that naturally as far.
It's hard to switch back and
Yeah,
forth.
I remember we have we have our old. Well, I mean, we used to have cassette tapes, back in the day. Actually, I still do. Huh. But we used to record ourselves on old cassette tapes, and then we used to label them "Wretched Singing Tape Number 1," "Wretched Singing Tape Number 2." And now we listen back to that stuff, and it's kind of cool, to have that. But
Do you still think it's wretched singing?
oh, it was wretched. There's no doubt about it.
I've not really gone back and listened to the early ones. Sometimes, yeah, I have no idea. They may be really bad. But we, practiced really hard for about 6 months, and we were we're not singing in public till we feel like we're good enough. Yeah. And we practiced, and then we actually went and,
and when was this? What year was this?
This was 2005, I think. And, yeah, so in
2004, you said.
Oh, that's right, because that's right. So yeah, so in 2005, we sang at this festival called the Cowboy Poetry Gathering up in Elko, Nevada. It was the first time we ever sang on stage, and so we even had practice singing over some microphones so that we wouldn't get up there and not know what to do over a PA system. We were so green. And so yeah, it turned out really well. So
How many songs did you do for that first time?
we had our sets worked up, so we had enough songs to play sets at the festival and everything.
Okay, just enough.
Yeah. Pray you don't get an encore. No, I'm kidding.
And yesterday you had mentioned that one of your favorite songs was "Twilight on the Trail," and that doesn't have any fiddle in it at all. That's all singing, which I found that unusual. So do you prefer the singing or the fiddling?
I don't really have a preference either way, and I'm going to speak for them. I know they don't either, but that's just a really beautiful song, and we grew up listening to it.
And the harmonies.
Being from Texas, we also have the influence of the Western genres, Sons of the Pioneers were one of the main bands in that. Marty Robbins was a solo singer. He did country too, but lots of great Western ballads, and so we've grown up listening to a lot of that as well. And so that song was probably from the Sons of the Pioneers.
We also heard the Mills Brothers do it.
Oh, that's right. They're one of our other favorite singing groups that really have influenced our 3-part harmony vocals.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they did a Western album. I forgot about that. Mm-hmm. And
They were not a Western group.
no,
They were
they weren't
not.
a Western band, but
At
they
all.
did this really cool it's pretty rare to find this Western album, but it has Twilight on the Trail in it. And we were just doodling around a few months ago at the end of rehearsal and started singing that song, and then the guys started figuring out the chords, and we were not intending to play it in the band, but they figured out the chords, so we're like, well, we might as well give it a shot.
Yeah, it felt like it fit when we were doing the arrangement, just to not add fiddles in, and it just felt like it just needed to be singing.
And Dan bows on the bass on that song, and that's the only song that he does in our sets where he plays bowed bass, and just really adds a really beautiful, cool, sound.
He's a great bowed bass player, and so we're trying to get him to do more of that in our sets on more new songs.
Well, what other inspirations do you all draw from?
Well, we listen to kind of everything. We draw from, obviously, the styles that we play, but we listen to, everything from, like, Django Reinhardt and Ella Fitzgerald and all of our favorite country singers like Merle Haggard and, our favorite fiddle players, Texas fiddle players like Benny Thomason and then bluegrass fiddle players like Kenny Baker. We played actually one of Kenny Baker's tunes that he wrote on our last set. But then we listen to just everything. I mean, I love Radiohead. I love the Beatles. I love, just good music is good music. It doesn't matter from what time or what genre,
They can expound. Yeah. There's a great hip-hop station in Dallas, Boom 94.5. And I've been really getting into that because it's like introduced me to a ton of music because I didn't really listen to hip hop growing up, and so now I'm starting to listen to it a lot more. And every time I hear a song that I like sound hound it on my phone, and then I go write it down. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna listen to them now. So no, it's been cool. I sound really country talking about this. A fiddle player from the Sticks talking about hip-hop music.
Not at all. So tell me a little bit about how you decide what you want to work on next, or if you get tired of something that's been in your repertoire for a while, when you want to retire that and focus on something new.
That is kind of a unique process for us because we have a bunch of styles that we kind of draw from already in our repertoire: the Texas style fiddling, the Western swing, country music. We do a little bit of bluegrass, of course, jazz and swing, and the Western music, a gospel tune here and there. So we have kind of a spectrum to pull tunes from, and we're actually getting into doing originals now too, which is really fun. We haven't done that in the past, so that's a new step for us. But as far as picking a song, it's kind of like, what do you need in your set right now? And like, do you need another fast one? Do you need a good slow one? So we kind of have in the back of our minds songs that we want to work up, or we'll keep a list and be like, oh, this would be a cool one. And we all do that. All the guys, as well as the three of us, bring songs to the table. And then we kind of go through. It's like if we've just worked up 3 fast ones, we don't need another fast one. Yeah. So, I mean, there's that element, but a lot of it is just what we feel like doing.
So what are some of the originals that you're working on?
Well, we're keeping some of those a little under our hat because we're hoping, or this is our plan, is to put them on our new album that we're going to hopefully go in the studio sometime in the beginning of next year to cut. And so we're just kind of like forming our, ideas, kind of conceptualizing the album and what songs. And so yeah, I've written some stuff and we're working on that, and I'm excited about it. So we'll see if it turns out. And we'll probably throw that tune, Summer of Roses, on there. That's a beautiful Willie Nelson song. The first time I actually heard that one first because I'm reading Willie Nelson's autobiography. And if you have a long car ride, just Willie Nelson will keep you entertained.
The book is like this thick.
Well, I've been
huge.
reading it a long time. I'm kind of a slow reader, but so I've been making a list because I've always been a Willie Nelson fan, but I never dug very deep in his catalog. And so as I read about an album, then I would go listen to it, and it's so cool how much more the songs meant to me when I knew the story and like the process that he had gone through and kind of the surrounding circumstances of the album. Anyway, that's a long-winded way of saying when I heard the album Yesterday's Wine, I heard that song Summer of Roses on there, and I just brought it to my sisters and said, whether you like this or not, we're working it up. And they liked it. Yeah, so then we just sort of started conceptualizing it and went from there. So, yeah.
So do any of you tend to take the lead more than the others when you're choosing songs or deciding who will do what?
I don't know. Not really too much.
No. We kind of all share it.
Now, as far as whoa. Now, as far as the lead part, Sophia sings most of our leads, and then Hulda sings the high parts, and I sing the low parts. That's just another take on the word lead.
Depends on what you consider lead. And you mentioned that you were writing some originals. Who's focused more on who's doing what with that?
I'm sorry, what was that?
For the writing of the
For
originals.
the writing? Well, one song I wrote all by myself, and just all at once, and then I brought it to the band, and then Hulda said, I was playing it kind of just like a country tune, then Hulda said, what if you put a shuffle bass beat to that? I was like, brilliant idea. And so we were trying that in one of our last rehearsals, and it sounds really cool. And then another tune, I wrote and then brought it to y'all.
And y'all scrapped it.
Well, yeah.
I'm kidding.
Basically, they liked parts of it, but then they were like, you need to go back to the drawing board. So I did, and
It was a real collaborative effort because we liked the concept of the lyrics of what you were
y'all
talking about.
helped me rewrite some of the verses.
But it was just, yeah.
And then I wrote a new melody and chords to it that I like a lot better. And then y'all heard it and you liked it better.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was really collaborative on that song.
We're
so.
really, really new at the whole songwriting thing, so our process is, I have no idea if it's right or wrong, but it's what we do.
But here's the thing, Hulda, I don't think there is a right or wrong way.
You're
I
right.
think songs just happen, and they happen in all kinds of different ways.
Amen.
So, there you go. That's my opinion.
And you're not going in the studio for another few months.
Yeah, so we have time to like try a lot of stuff.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
is there audience questions? Any questions from the audience?
Yeah.
I came in a few minutes late, so ages from youngest to oldest, I don't care about the age part, but
Well, we don't exactly say our exact age, but we're all in our 20s. So,
All right.
well, actually, this one popped out of the 20s, but yeah,
and I heard you at the...
I'm the youngest.
You're the youngest.
Oldest, middle.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I heard you at the City Stage, and you did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
And I remember you saying that you've been on tour quite a bit. Have you done any international tour?
Yeah, we have.
You have?
We've
Where?
Toured in France, England, Wales, Scotland. Did a extensive Russia tour, which I about froze to death. And they were like, "Oh, it's springtime. The river is melting." I was like, "Does that come again? The river?" So yes, yeah, they drive across the rivers over there. But yeah, it was fantastic. It was really cool. So we go to Canada at least once or twice a year, and so yeah.
I've been in the baking industry for 51 years. I'm retired now. I went to Russia in '86, and early in the morning, came out of the hotel, and I saw a line of people queuing up, and I kind of thought, all right, there's got to be a bakery that they're going to, and I'm going to go to that bakery. It was a vodka liquor store where they did their
Yes,
daily rations of
they do like their vodka in Russia. It's very good over there, I will have to say. Any other questions?
I don't know if there were any questions that were just squelched by the vehicle, but it's going once, going twice, gone. Well, as far as anything else we'd like to add, we have just really enjoyed all the music here. Appreciate y'all including us in this question and answer segment, and we enjoyed Balsam Range's set, and they're incredible musicians. So yeah, they have a new album coming out in like next month or something. So y'all check that out.
I'll have to check that out. You know, I did think of one thing. If people are interested in finding out where we'll be in the area, they can go to our website. It's quebesisters.com. And we are going to be playing in Raleigh. So if you have friends in Raleigh, tell them to come out. That's in a few days. And then we're going to South Carolina for several dates. So, yeah, check out our website. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you
Thank
so
y'all.
much, ladies.